Hi guys, it's time to do the Willow Creek Q&A. So, you guys submitted a lot of questions and I'm excited to see what you want to know. So, I'm just going to jump right into it. The first question is, where did you get the Willow Creek boys' names? Matthias came first. Matthias is actually named after a real guy. I've only met this guy once, so don't get any crazy ideas. I just thought it was a really cool name, and I was like, I'm gonna save that for a book. And it immediately just sort of in my head, I was like, that would be good for the Rockstar series I'm going to write. And this happened like last summer, and I was like, so from there, I knew I wanted Matthias to be one of the twins, and I was like, that's good for the twin that's not so nice, kind of has it's like a strong name. That's good for him. So from there, Maddox just sort of fell into place, and Ezra came next. I've always really liked that name, and I just thought for a rock star, I'm so sorry for my dog. And I just thought that was a really cool rock star name. Hayes was probably the hardest to name. Originally, I wanted to name him Hollis, and that was going to be his first name. And I just didn't feel right. I'm really, really weird about my characters' names. And so if it doesn't feel right, I just know I have to change it. I mean, I changed Emma's name in Last to Know, you don't even want to know how many times I changed her name. And same with Olivia in Finding Olivia. And so then Hayes sort of came from that. I kind of had, I guess, an H feel. But when I actually wrote Last to Know, I could not make up my mind whether Hayes was going to be his first name or his last name. And so that's why he's only ever referred to as Hayes in that book. You never find out, you never know in that book if it's his first name or his last name. But then you find out never too late that I did decide that is his last name. His first name is Josh, or Joshua, and he goes by Hayes. He goes by his last name. There's no, amazing reason behind that. He just thinks that Hayes sounds cooler than Josh. So there's where that comes from. Which one of the series so far has been your favorite? That's so hard because I love them all in different ways. Never Too Late is probably one of my favorite books I've ever written, but that's because that book really pushed me as a writer. And so those kind of books kind of impact you more as a writer. They just, I don't know, they stick with you more. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite of the whole series. I love all of the characters in the series so much that it's kind of impossible to pick a favorite. I think In Your Heart is really neat in the fact that I like to say it's more of an ensemble cast. Yes, it is Sadie and Ezra's story, but you get lots of the other couples. It's just, whereas Last to Know is very much Maddox and Emma. Never Too Late is very much Matthias and Remy. But this book, you get a little bit of everybody. You get to see, because Sadie's best friends with Emma, and Ezra's best friends with Maddox, and Maddox is Matthias's twins. I mean, they're all together a lot of the time. And you do get a lot more of Hayes in Your Heart. Because up until this point, you haven't gotten to see very much of him. You got more of him, I think, in Last to Know than you did in Never Too Late. But in this book, you really get to see a lot of him. And I really, really, really fell in love with him in this book. But yeah, I can't pick a favorite. Don't make me pick a favorite. It's not happening. If you could bring one character to life from the series, guy or girl, who would you pick and why? What would you then do with the character? Maddox, and then I would make him my boyfriend. Or Matthias. Matthias can be my boyfriend too. I don't know. I really like both of them because, Matthias is obviously kind of grumpy and broody, but, there's depth to him. And then Maddox is Maddox. I mean, how can you not love Maddox? If anybody doesn't love Maddox, there's something wrong with you because he's hysterical in my opinion. Which boy would you rather end up with if they were all real and available? Hee, that sounds creepy. Jeez. I mean, it's a toss-up between Maddox and Matthias. I would probably get, I don't know, one of them. I can't decide. Would you do another Rockstar series again? Or what direction are you thinking of going into? it's really funny. When I first got the idea for this series, I was really nervous about it because I'm not a big Rockstar series fan. I feel like a lot of them are really kind of like dark and gritty, and the guys are man whores and they're really into drugs and alcohol. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But yeah, I think it's a possibility that I would do another rocker series in the future. It'd probably be a little while, but I'd really like to do something with a girl band. I think that would be interesting. And like an actual, like, not a girl group, like a girl band. Like they play their own instruments. Like I think that would be really fun. So you never know. I don't have anything in the works immediately, but it could happen. What was most difficult about writing Never Too Late? There's a lot of intense scenes between Matthias and Remy, but there's one in particular that is in the past. Remy's memories that she has. That was hard to write. That actually made me cry, and I never cry when I write, but I cried 3 times while writing that book. And the only other book that's made me tear up or cry was Tempting Rowan. So it just never happens to me, but that scene with her really got to me. But I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to spoil it in case somebody hasn't read that book yet. How much fun are you having writing the series? The characters are so great, so I wonder if it's an easier process. It's when you really like love a series and love the characters. Yeah, it is easier to write and it's a lot of fun. But then it also kind of becomes difficult in the sense that when so many other people love it, there's the stress of having it live up to expectations. So hopefully, I'm really nervous about this one just because you do see a lot of the other couples, and I hope where the other couples are going lives up to everybody's expectations of what they want for them. Is Ezra your new favorite character of the series? Once again, I don't have a favorite. It's impossible to pick a favorite. They're all so different, is the thing. So it's like, one day I might say, oh, I like this character better, and the next I might say another one. So, but yeah, Ezra is, I really do like Ezra. He's very sweet. He's a really nice guy, but you'll see in this book that he's very conflicted about his feelings for Sadie, and that causes him to, I don't want to say be a jerk, because nothing he does or says is malicious. It's more what he doesn't do. Who is your favorite point of view to write? I've written so many point of views at this point. Emma was fun because I feel like Emma has really hilarious inner dialogue. Like, she is just a mess with her thoughts. Like, she just cracks me up. And Sadie was a little bit harder of a mindset to get into because she is, at the beginning of the book, she's coming off of this really bad breakup, and then here she is having, she's kind of always had feelings for Ezra, but she's never acted on them, and then now that Brayden's out of the picture, and she's living with Ezra, her feelings are that much more intensified, and she feels wrong to feel this way about her best friend, and then, so that was difficult. So I would say my favorite's probably Remy, because she's kind of a badass. She takes charge. She is not afraid to speak her mind. But at the end of the day, she does have insecurities and she does have fears, and she's a normal human being, but she's bolder, and that was fun to write. If they were a real band, would you listen to their music based on how you envision it to be? Yeah, I would. And the last question is, what kind of music do they play? Like the genre? It's kind of hard because I've been asked a lot, like, what they sound like, and I can never get, like, an accurate description, but I'm going to say they're a lot in the line of One Republic and The Fray. I feel like One Republic more than The Fray, but just, they write their own songs, and they, some are slow, some are more fast-paced, sometimes the guys are running around on stage, sometimes they're not, but as far as sound, I'd say One Republic is the closest, and if you if you've read Last to Know, I did mention them, I think, 2 times. Maddox kind of brings up that he listens to them, and so that was sort of my hint that that's what they sound like. So that's it for the questions that were submitted, but I also want to answer one that I get asked a lot, and that would be if Maddox and Emma are getting a second book. And the answer to that, unfortunately, is no. They are not getting a second book. I love them as much as you guys do, and I miss them, and I would love to write about them again, but it's just not there. To write a book, you have to have some kind of, drama or something, and I don't want to break them up or anything like that, so they're in a good place, but I promise, as the books, the third one's ready to come out, and then the fourth one in August, and you're going to see pretty much how each couple, you're going to see their journey, and especially Maddox and Emma's, because they were the first couple, and then these books jumped so far ahead in the future that you get to see where they're going. If you've read Never Too Late, you know that they're going to get married, and so you'll see more of them in the third and fourth book. And another thing I've been asked a lot is what's coming after the Willow Creek series. Well, I'm not going to say, I have a blurb, and I know who the next series book is about. It's not about, it's going to follow different couples, and the first book is titled The Road That Leads to Us. It is on Goodreads, so you can add it. It is scheduled to come out in October, but it'll be a few more months before I announce what that series is about. So you can expect an announcement on that probably in August or September, but most likely the end of August after Take a Chance, the fourth book in the Willow Creek series, comes out. So, but yeah, because I keep getting messages that, people think I'm going to, fall off the face of the earth after the series ends, and I'm not. And there's plenty more planned, so yeah, you're good. There's going to be more books by me. There should be, Take a Chance comes out in August, and there should be 2 more books after that this year alone from me. So I cannot wait to tell you about the series that's coming up next. I'm so excited about it, and I think you guys are going to be too. So go add it on Goodreads, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. So thank you for submitting your questions, and bye!